All right, she's connected. And then Ms. Matthews, if you could start your video. This is case number 234466701, the People versus Raymond. Vincent Pilgrim, the defendant, is charged with 1 count of child abuse, 4th degree, and 1 count of assault or assault and battery. Today is the date set for sentencing. Appearances, please.
Good morning, Your Honor. Tina Ripley on behalf of the people, P83688.
Good morning, Your Honor. Lisa Kirsch-Satala appearing on behalf of Dr. Pilgrim, P52675.
Mr. Pilgrim, please state your full name for the court.
Dr. Ramon Pilgrim.
Today is the day set for sentencing, and I did not order a pre-sentence report at the time of the trial. I remember I asked, so I didn't order a pre-sentence report, so we can proceed to the sentencing. And with respect to the sentencing, Ms. Ripley, is there anything on behalf of the people?
Judge, would you like Ms. Matthews to make her statement first, and then we can make our recommendation?
If Ms. Matthews wants to make a statement, if that's on behalf of the people, yes, Ms. Matthews can make a statement.
Yes,
Ms. Matthews, can you unmute yourself and tell me your name? And well, before I do that, Ms. Ripley, why don't you, for the record, tell us why Ms. Matthews gets to make a statement?
Yes, Judge. Ms. Matthews is the mother of the victim in this case, Isaiah Ashford.
Thank you. And Ms. Matthews, state your name.
My name is Aisha Matthews, the parent of Isaiah Ashford.
Okay, and I understand you want to give a victim impact statement to the court.
Yes.
You may.
Okay. This whole incident that Dr. Pilgrim and my son was involved in, it left a huge impact on my son. You know, it was hard for him to go back to school. Dr. Pilgrim had him banned from coming to school. My son, when he tried to switch schools, he didn't want to be bothered with any male teachers or anything no more. And it just took a lot for him to get over that and overcome that. And like I said, he missed 3 months of school where he had to repeat a grade. So that was a big impact on him. And any males that, you know, play with him or anything, that left like a traumatic experience for him. So I'm glad that this was brought to somebody's attention. It's like it's been a rough year. Unfortunately, It took so long.
Okay. Does that conclude your statement?
Yes.
I do just have one question for you. How old is your son today?
Now he's 12.
Okay, thank you. Okay, anything further on behalf of the people?
Judge, on behalf of the people, Your Honor was the jurist in this case. You heard all of the evidence. You saw the video in this case. What happened here was something that should have never happened, shouldn't have been able to happen. We are asking for a term of probation. We're asking for anger management classes. We are asking for community service and any other terms and conditions that Your Honor sees fit.
And when the people say that they're asking for a term of probation, are you recommending any specific length of probation, or are you just asking for?
We would ask for at least a year.
Okay. Anything further on behalf of the people?
Not at this time, Your Honor.
Okay. Counsel, please state your name for me again. How do you pronounce your last name?
My name is Lisa Kirsch-Satala.
Okay, thank you, Kirsch-Satala. Thank you. Okay, do you have on behalf of Mr. Pilgrim?
I do, and I'm going to infer from your comment about reading all of the letters that you have received and read my sentencing memorandum
Yes, counsel.
in this matter. So, as your Honor is aware, I was not the attorney at the trial. However, I have read the transcripts and the court's ruling, and I would ask the court to consider that this really was an isolated incident, that since the incident and this court's finding, Dr. Pilgrim has taken this very seriously. He did have an anger / risk assessment done that we talk a little bit about the conclusions of on page 5 of our memorandum, that he's at low risk for reoffending. He's not highly prone to violent outbursts or would be unable to function effectively in the community. It was suggested by the therapist that he participate in individual therapy to aid him in learning proactive ways to effectively cope with stresses and emotions. He has sought out a therapist already. He has a long time history as an educational professional, as a teacher, as a principal, as an assistant principal. He has been dedicated to children, and especially to troubled children, for most of his career. He's very involved in the community. He mentors youth at risk. This is something just very contrary to who he is as a person, and so we would ask you to also consider that he has no criminal history, no history of substance abuse, no mental health issues, and that the one incident that he did have with law enforcement was over 20 years ago. Actually, take that back. That was wrong. And he really does make a positive impact on the community. That's really who he is. He has definitely learned of how this situation could have been handled differently, should have been handled differently. He's done a lot of reflection. The court knows he has a tremendous amount of support from his past students, his past colleagues, as well as current colleagues. And he really has dedicated his life to shaping and changing at-risk youth to become successful. So, Your Honor, at this time, we would request that you give him a short term of probation, 6 months. He is prepared, I believe, firm with him to pay all of his fines and costs today. And that he will, like I said, he has had the evaluation already. He will continue with his therapist, and he will continue with his community service, because that's who he is. Thank you.
Okay, would Mr. Pilgrim, Dr. Pilgrim, like to make a statement on his own behalf?
I believe he does not wish to make a statement at this time. That was what he told me a few days ago. Dr. Pilgrim, am I correct? You still do not wish to make a statement?
That is correct.
Okay. I was the jurist to preside over the bench trial, and I recall at that time the decision being difficult for me. I recall that I watched the video in order to see if I was seeing what I thought I saw, right? I remember in my verdict saying, that I watched the video. I wished I could have expanded it to blow it up. But the thing that stood out to me in the video, and I believe Ms. Ripley brought it out in her closing maybe, but I remember the thing that stood out to me was the way that chair, that the force with which Dr. Pilgrim pushed the young boy into the chair caused the chair to immediately, break. And the chairs were lined up, and then all of a sudden the chairs were not lined up. But then I also, because at the time, Mr. Pitts, his argument, which was quite convincing, which was also why I just took time to watch the video over and over to see where I saw Dr. Pilgrim's hands. I really think I took a lot of effort to see if the hand was on the chest, which I'm not necessarily sure where I would have landed in my decision if I had concluded that the hand was on the chest. I don't know where I would have landed, but I recall concluding that the hand was not on the chest. I recall concluding that the hand was close to the throat, that the young man doubled over and fell on the floor. I definitely got the sentencing memorandum, and I was reading last night. I printed the sentencing memorandum. I didn't print all of the letters of support that I think when I went to click on print, I was just going to print them, and I clicked on print, and then it said 41 pages. And then I said, oh, my ink is low on my home computer. So if I don't go into the office tomorrow, then I just have to look at them on here. And why am I bringing that up? I have no doubt that Dr. Pilgrim has a lot of support. I have no doubt that he's respected by many of his colleagues. Some of the letters that I received, the people writing the letters were familiar to me. Some of the people that I may know. And some of them was from Dr. Pilgrim's family. And as I read each letter, and they did rave about how great Dr. Pilgrim is and how he's worked, with children. Some letters quoted Martin Luther King to me. They let me know that Martin Luther King and Dr. Pilgrim are fraternity brothers, right? And I don't know if any of the letters brought attention to, my personal sorority affiliation. I don't think so. But I thought every time I read a letter, I said, after I read the letter, I would say, oh, this is a great letter. I wonder, did they see the video? Oh, this is a great letter. I wonder, did they see the video? And then I was reminded of a time in my personal life where I used to be over the youth church group at my church. And I had a responsibility to take the kids places. And I remember I used to say, I don't even like kids like this. Why am I in charge of these kids? And some of the kids were very challenging, right? They were very challenging. But then at the end of the day, when they would just come up to me and hug me, and like they would say, thank you for taking us, the baddest ones in the group is come up and hug you and thank you for and then that would make me do it again. And when I did it again, I would be like, I don't even like kids like this. But as I grew, I understood that children come to us. The sum total of their surroundings, their environment, their trauma, all of the things that they deal with in the world, we can barely deal with them as adults. So in the moment and that this occurred, I remember, I think also in my verdict, I said I felt the child may have been difficult. The information that led up to why he was even in the auditorium being escorted by the other person who I don't recall their name or title at this time. I understood the situation. I understood the need to isolate the child. But Dr. Pilgrim, we cannot handle the situation in the way that you handled it. And again, additionally, of course, the thing that bothered me was that after the situation occurred, no one reported any use of force against this child. No one reported until the child didn't want to go back to Dr. Pilgrim after getting in trouble again, but kids could get in trouble 1,000 times. As adults, we have to know how to handle it in the appropriate way. I'm appreciative of the people's recommendation, and I'm taking the people's recommendation in consideration with the letters that I did receive. I am a strong believer with a quote from Brian Stevenson, a civil rights attorney that I respect, that, you know, does a lot of work with death row inmates, and his the quote that he says, "We are better than the worst thing we've ever done," and that people deserve another chance and redemption. I believe that what you did was horrible. I believe that what you did was done in a fit of anger and not caring, not the care that about the other children. There's a book that I read on a regular basis, and it says that I will leave the 99 good people over here to go after the one lost person over here. The victim in this case was lost and needed some adult male appropriate supervision. And I believe you all failed him. I do believe you failed him. However, I don't think it should destroy your life, nor do I think it should destroy your career, nor do I think it should destroy your reputation. Our reputations are our reputations. They come with the decisions that we make. So I don't believe that your life should be over, but I do, of course, believe you should take responsibility and accountability. I felt like the letters were really nervous that I was going to put you in jail. And I will say that I've considered it. I will say that I considered it. After I replayed that video in my head. But I believe that you are a pillar of your community. But we have to shine the light on this type of behavior so that it doesn't continue. I'm going to accept the recommendation from the prosecutor with respect to a term of probation, and I asked the prosecutor if they were recommending a particular length of probation. They said 12 months. And so I'm going to go with the 12 months. I'm going to go with the 12 months because I'm telling you, again, after I came down from any jail time, even to hold it in abeyance, right? I think I have confidence that you'll do the probation, but sometimes I would say jail time held in abeyance as long as the person does the sentence. I have no doubt that, I mean, Dr. Pilgrim has expended a lot of energy. I could tell by the letters, by what the letter said, by all of those things. So I'm going to do the 12 months probation. I will well, at this time, I'll do the 12 months probation. So I'll place you on probation for 12-month period with a final review date of February the 25th of 2000 and, well, let's make it February 21st, which would be the Friday, 2025. court will give a midway review date of August the strike that, August 29th. 2024 at 10 o'clock a.m. The probation carries the following terms and conditions. You shall not violate any criminal law of any governmental unit. You must not leave the state of Michigan without the consent of the court. You must make a truthful report to probation on a monthly basis, and you must notify probation immediately of any change of your address, phone number, or employment status. You will pay the following fines, costs, and fees. Mandatory cost of $210, a $500 fine. Ms. Ripley, you didn't say anything about restitution. I know Ms. Matthews was just kind of talking about how difficult it was for her son, but there are no like counseling bills or anything like that.
I'm not aware of any, Judge.
Ms. Matthews, you didn't have any out-of-pocket expenses with respect to your son following this incident, did you?
No, I didn't. Our insurance paid for it.
Okay, thank you so much. All right, the court is then going to set restitution at 0. I am going to impose $420 probation oversight fees. That is at a rate of $35 per month. And I did not do a pre-sentence investigation fee, so there is no fee for that. The court is also going to impose, I'm not going to order random urinalysis, but I am going to order at the discretion of probation, they may require Dr. Pilgrim to submit to urinalysis at their discretion if they see any need. And then at that time, they can submit a request for the court to add any fees if the testing is at the court. The total fines, costs, and fees is $1,130. Additionally, you shall not use or possess any illegal substances. You shall not use or possess any marijuana without a valid medical marijuana card. You shall not use or possess any opiates without a valid prescription and letter of explanation from the doctor. You shall not drive without a valid driver's license. You shall attend 12 weeks of anger management through eVay, and you shall complete 10 days of community services at a place approved by the probation department. You shall pay any outstanding tickets that you have with the 36th District Court. You shall clear up any warrants that you have. If you have any outstanding warrants, and then you shall have no contact with the complaining witness. I did have a question. I do apologize. Where does Dr. Pilgrim work now?
I don't believe that he has been.
Oh, did you put
working.
that in? Maybe you put that in your memorandum?
I believe I did.
I thought I saw it. I think I did. Okay.
It's on page 2. That
Yes. Okay.
and he yeah, right now he's just been working with his all-male mentor group.
Okay. Yeah.
And just continues to do community work.
Okay. Thank you.
Am I correct, Dr. Pilgrim? I just want to make sure I didn't miss something.
No, you are correct.
Okay.
So I do believe that outside of this particular incident, at least we're not aware of any other incidents with Dr. Pilgrim and any what I would call inappropriate contact with the children, inappropriate physical, contact as like the subject of this case. So I don't, as with respect to his probation, the court is not going to restrict him from working with children. So if he's able to get, a position, the court is not restricting him. So there's not going to be a restriction against him working with children. And then I don't know. Yes, I think I did say that the 10 days. Oh, let me just clarify the 10 days. A day is 8 hours. So 10 days translates to 80 hours. That's how that works. And I think that's going to be the order of the court. Is there anything further with respect to this on behalf of the people?
Not on behalf of the people, Your Honor. Thank you.
On behalf of the defense?
Your Honor, if he has accrued community service hours between the trial and sentencing, would that be satisfactory as credit? It wouldn't be the complete amount, but would that be credited towards his 80 hours?
Do the people have any position on that?
Judge, we'd leave it in the discretion of the court.
Okay. I'll give him credit up to half.
Okay.
And that is, counsel, I do apologize also. That is, as long as the place that he has done the community service is approved by probation. So wherever
Absolutely.
he's done the community service, it still has to be a place that would have been approved by probation. And then they can, if they approve where he's already done the community service, if they want to allow him to continue, doing community service at that agency, they can. But I don't want to step outside of them because they have certain requirements that the agency has to have in order for us to accept the community service. So I think it's some dealing with insurance and certain certifications. Okay.
Yep, absolutely.
So I'll accept up to half of those hours. Okay.
Just one last thing, Your Honor.
Oh, yes. Okay.
I could tell by both the way your opinion and ruling at the trial and the amount of time that you spent on this case today that you took great care. And thank you for all of your attention.
Oh, you're welcome, counsel. Thank you. I appreciate that. All right. Then I think we're all set. And then, of course, if I didn't say so I will address your request to me for a 6-month probationary period. I meant to do it. And the reason I declined to do that is because the law already requires for the court to grant an early discharge after the halfway point if the individual has completed the terms and conditions of their probation. And so in this way, Dr. Pilgrim is eligible for early discharge at the 6-month mark, but I did not want to have him eligible at the 3-month mark. So that's why my ruling is the way it is. Okay. All right. Anything further?
No, thank you very much, Your Honor.
All right. Then we're all set. Everyone have a great day and stay safe.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome.